The Slap is episode number 3 in GumBomb. Disclaimer: not to be confused with a fictional website from the dumbass Dan Schneider sitcom Victorious. Tobias Wilson has recently been using a more intimate way of greeting his guy friends by slapping them in the butt. All but one guy friend. Guess who? That's all I have to say. Gumball spends 11 minutes worth of broadcast time trying to get Tobias to hit him in the ass. I'm done. I am so done. Alright. It's hard to talk about an idea like this. In great detail, anyway. What can I honestly say? It's your run-of-the-mill cringe comedy, which Gumball has explored before, with the hug and the awkwardness, and a few more that I'm missing. There's nothing that new here. Okay, I'll try to say something, but I can't guarantee anything of substance. From my own understanding, the foundation of cringe comedy is making a character or characters feel as uncomfortable as possible, which in turn makes the audience feel as uncomfortable as possible. Have this person do or say something at the most uncanny of times to elicit a feeling of unrest. The more an audience squirms in their seats as they watch, the better. I will commend Gumball for pulling off cringe comedy effectively. Every time someone in the show does something ridiculously bizarre, you can't help your skin from crawling. You can't help but question why they did what they did. It turns your brain into a pile of mush because you just know that no sane person would ever sink to such a degrading low. This still holds true in The Slap. It did what it aimed to do, and it did it just fine. Since this is Gumball we're talking about, the awkward moments are a given. The plot is thin, though, even non-existent. It did make me laugh here and there. I can name a highlight or two. One is Gumball's music number.
Is my butt not hurt? Is it not inviting?
That depends if the apples don't fall far from the tree.
To be friendly, to be fair, to respect my dairy. I'll just give up and cry. My lonely backside and
I'm not sure that warranted the song.
I couldn't have said it better. The second highlight is the other music number, with Gumball and Tobias.
We gotta signal the guy so he can see us from the sky, and then we will survive. I got a spare leg, just throw it away.
Need help? No, I'm fine, thank you.
Why would you put a question mark at the end?
Yeah, trying to form a giant message with your dismembered body parts is a real bitch.
All I wanted was one of your little butt slaps.
But I thought you would hate that.
I just wanted to be included, and it got out of hand. And now I have to pay my taxes to this giant nostril.
What?
I usually file through my accountant, but he's in Boca.
Dude, I think you're hallucinating. And your face looks like a cat, but not enough.
Yeah, you don't look too good yourself.
Okay, that was a good one. Thumbs up. And what have we got here? Another predictable ending.
Hey, G-Ball, how you doing?
How dare you! You've got some nerve, young man! There are rules in this society, and casually slapping people's butt is not one of them! Someone has to take a stand.
It's alright, Tobias. Don't worry about it too much, buddy. Look, comedy is subjective. That has always been a universal truth. One man's trash may be another man's treasure. Likewise, something that may be funny to one may not be so funny to another. And the fact that aspects like culture, race, location, sex, gender, and age come into play a lot of the time adds further complications. I'm fine with cringe and toilet humor in the right doses. If you're looking for a cartoon that does gross out humor correctly, The Loud House will also be right around your alley. Personally, though I did get a few chuckles in this episode, I wasn't as roped in as much as other people might have been. That being said, I'm not going to fault it for doing what it's meant to do and doing it right. I will fault it for not having a plot that shakes things up and that all too obvious ending. What does that bring my final score for The Slap to? A 3 out of 5. Well, good golly gee, I ended up talking about that a lot more than I thought I would. Hooray for my public speaking skills. Episode number 4 in GumBomb, The Detective, is a far cry from the previous episode. Anais investigates the case of a villainous fiend who mangled her precious Daisy the donkey. It plays out like a detective story, or, according to Anais,
are you playing good cop, bad cop?
No, this isn't a trashy 80s cop show. This is quality subscription television, mysteriously mumbly southern detective.
Uh-huh. Sure it is, sweetie. This is a fun one. Whenever Gumball explores a genre different from its own, it sure can pull it off exceptionally. If you want end-of-the-world apocalyptic disaster, you've got the job. If you want horror, The Joy is just for you. If you want action and suspense, then The Bus is your cup of tea. If you want a teen drama where everyone is a whiny little bitch that's on the verge of cutting their wrists, give The Others a try. There are lots more that I can name, but you get where I'm coming from. I like the different ways that this episode lampoons the crime genre, like with the monologues that the characters often go into.
Two boys high on sugar and a sweet doll caught in the middle. I was scared to discover what happened to her. Could I even open the door to that bathroom? I continued my search, but all I found was myself, going in circles.
Put your helmet on, sweetie!
He was a day like any other.
Hey! I'm the only one who gets to do grisly flashbacks.
Well, how else am I supposed to tell you what happened?
Okay, fine. But do it in your own voice.
Sure, I was mad, but I forgave Darwin for throwing Daisy in the trash to cover my...
No, I don't.
Sorry, it was worth a shot.
You guys do know the difference between internal and external monologuing, do you? And yet this episode still manages to be a good crime story in its own right, even though the act in question isn't a crime per se so much as a clumsy boo-boo. This is a well-constructed atmosphere where the pieces fall into place. The camera work is overall brilliant. You've got low-angle shots that give Anais a powerful aura, close-ups to show the guilt that's eating Gumball and Darwin alive, among other things. Equally spot-on is the use of music, namely Lacrimosa by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, which isn't the first time classical music has been used in the show. Anyone remember Moonlight Sonata? Ludwig van Beethoven? The piece that was used in The Joy? And you have the small pieces like the use of slow motion and crossfades. All in all, a good episode. It mocks the mainstays of a certain genre while adhering to the very same mainstays it's mocking, like any good parody should. Nick Jennings, Bob Boyle, I hope you two are taking notes. You're gonna need it if you want the Power Puke Girls to stay afloat. Someone make a hashtag out of that. Power Puke Girls. Or anything that has a strong chance of trending on Twitter. The Detective is a solid 4 out of 5. The only thing I didn't like is the repetitive use of certain jokes like the monologues, or at least how repetitive they felt as the episode progressed. 4 episodes down and 1 to go. Boy, this is gonna be a mouthful.